Hi, I'm Kieren.
And I'm Riku.
Welcome to Artificially Ever After.
Short stuff. So Kieren, did Google just win?
It's a big loaded question right off the back of our long form episode, the AI arms race. But Google just had their big annual developers conference, Google I/O, which was last week. It ran from 20th to the 21st of May. And there was lots of new AI stuff. So this conference talks about all the new kind of normally boring software stuff that Google releases. Other companies like Apple have a similar version. But there was an absolute bombardment of new AI features, tools, all this stuff coming to Google. So we're going to go through that today and cover all this crazy stuff that's just happened. But just to emphasize how much this conference focused on AI more than usual, some journalists actually counted the number of times Sundar Pichai, who's the CEO of Google and was doing a lot of the keynote talking, mentioned AI, and it was 139 times throughout the event.
Oh, wow.
So it was a lot of AI stuff going on. And yeah, one of the things they mentioned in that conference was just how much AI adoption has been ramping up, both in Google and across all their different platforms and tools. So the Gemini app, their phones as well. So monthly usage has gone up from 9.7 trillion of these things called tokens, which we mentioned before. So basically words that are being processed by the AI. It's gone from 9.7 trillion to 480 trillion in a year. So that's 50 times what it was previously. So a massive jump in how much people are actually using Google's AI models. And their Gemini app, which is like their version of kind of ChatGPT, OpenAI's model, now tops 400 million active monthly users. So yeah, they've realized how much people are liking their AI tools, and they're putting a lot of money and time into it now.
That's a lot. And I wonder why that might be. Well, that's because they've just released their new models. So they've released Gemini 2.5 Pro with DeepThink. So I think until the event, they had just a preview of 2.5. And even the preview was already topping the community-led benchmarks where the community, you yourself as a listener, you can go on chatbotarena.com and you can rank the different LLMs.
Your favorite one, yeah.
Yeah. And now that they've released DeepThink, it's completely, again, it's still number one, completely smoking all the other top AI companies. But as the name suggests, DeepThink does use a lot of compute power. So they released Gemini 2.5 Flash, which is a much lighter model, but that also does amazing on these community-led benchmarks. So you can kind of trust these numbers more than these closed source benchmarks where they do the tests in secret.
Yeah, these small models normally lag behind quite a bit, don't they? And they're meant to be cheaper to run, a lot smaller, more efficient, faster. But this one's just kind of smashing the benchmarks as well, isn't it? It's better than, I think, some of OpenAI's top models, didn't you say?
So yeah, Gemini 2.5 Flash is doing better than ChatGPT o3, so their best model. And then just to top it all off, they released an even smaller model called Gemma 3N. And this one's open source, so you can actually download this and just run it on your laptop if you want to. And
that's quite a game changer, isn't it? I think these open source small models being just as good at performance, because now you don't have to send your query off to some big data center somewhere. You could, in theory, in the future, have it just ask that question and answer it on your phone or your laptop.
Yeah, and all your emotional secrets, or maybe more.
It's really important for privacy, isn't it? Yeah,
really they're all on your device. And if we compare Gemma 3N to OpenAI's best model from just last year, December, it does better. So it's only 2 gigabytes big, and it does better than ChatGPT o1.
Wow, that's crazy. Like same size as a movie, and it can answer like any question you have in the world. That's pretty nuts.
That is crazy, yeah.
However, it comes at a cost.
It does. See, I thought Google were all about democratizing AI, so all these benefits can be here for everyone, but I don't know about you guys, but I don't have $250 a month.
That's so much money, $250 a month.
It's a lot. Yeah, you think that they talk a lot about like democratizing education, but this is a lot of money.
Well, we were preaching that from the start of this podcast, right? That this was a huge benefit of AI, that it was making this stuff accessible to everyone. Yeah. Now we've just got another payment tier, which means that if you pay that extra per month, you get way more features, way more knowledge, really. It's really scary.
It's scary, isn't it? Because, I mean, OpenAI, how much do they cost for their Pro tier?
Yeah, there's around 150, I think, or something. So they're getting pricey. More. Yeah, and you get a lot more for your money now, especially with this Google plan, because as we're about to say, there are all new types of different features, not just a chatbot. We've got kind of image, video generation, all these things which you can get access to now. So it really can equip you with a lot more stuff and more tools than the average Joe.
Let's get into it.
So alongside these new models, or I guess working on top of them, we have all these crazy new features that they've released. So the big thing, which we kind of knew was coming, was that they're going to completely overhaul Google search, which is obviously...
Oh, wow. I thought that was their main thing.
Yeah, it's their main thing, the fundamental thing driving the company, what started, I guess, Alphabet, the parent company. But the traditional search that you go on, you type in your query and it lists a load of websites, followed, after a load of targeted ads, you get about 5 suggested websites, and then you finally get the stuff you're looking for.
Sound a bit sore there.
So fed up of scrolling through blue hyperlink text. But anyway, they're getting rid of that, and we're going more to like an AI chatbot style of search, which is rolled out already in the US for all US-based customers using Google, where it's much more like ChatGPT. So you go on, you ask it your question, but then it gives you a very rich kind of text overview style response. So it's more than just what you might have seen previously, which is this AI overview feature.
I was going to say, is it a bit like that?
Yeah, it's that, but kind of enhanced, and you can go back and forth, you can ask follow-on questions. So it's kind of just like ChatGPT basically, but apparently it's grounded a lot more in the websites, and then you can link stuff, much more clearly.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of shoehorn that in. They kind of force you to use this overview.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people use search engines because they don't want to use the environmental costs of these large language models, and then Google just forced you to use overview. And now they're just rolling out and I guess replacing the old Google, right?
Yeah, well, alongside that, overview previously just used to be limited to a few countries. I guess the UK and US and a few others were some of them, but they're now moving that overview feature to over 200 countries. So basically anyone who has access to Google now probably has that overview feature at the top, and soon to come it will change the way it normally looks to this kind of chatbot style response.
But why does this matter? Why is it such a game changer when you have AI first search?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it will be good for finding the stuff we want to find, and that's the motivation for Google doing this, that apparently we'll get, exactly what we want described within the context. It might link websites together. However, the big question, which people are already talking about with this overview feature, is what does this do for the people making the websites that you would normally go to and find your information? Because they have adverts on there. They might have products that they sell on there. They might link you to other pages and websites.
Yeah, that's so true. Because right now, websites are made for humans to read, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But AI first search means that the AIs are going through the websites and picking and choosing the bits of information
and
to
they
answer
read it for you. Yeah, it's crazy. Because already there have been early studies which show that with this AI overview feature, there's a 50% reduction in click-through rates, which is where you actually then go on the website to read it. So that's massively affecting the whole economy around web and web ads.
Wow.
And this is just going to go even further through the floor, these click-through rates, when we have full-on overview AI search, So yeah, we need to think about this because it's coming quick, and web developers...
Big changes to come.
Yeah, web developers are scared.
Wow. Well, on that note, so if that wasn't enough to scare web developers, we're seeing in the I.O. Google released Stitch and Jules. So Stitch is basically using the latest language models they released to power UI design. So basically you can just ask, using just normal English, I'd like a website, I don't know, with a chatbot here or with my logo here and this website functionality. And the AI, this Gemini model, will just create it for you. So
yeah, it's crazy. So web developers,
and if that wasn't
enough,
Jules is a coding agent. So now you can essentially just code in pure English or whatever language you choose. So
anyone can go create a full website end to end. It's so funny. I was thinking about this. It just seems so stupid. We're getting AI to build websites, build the code behind the websites, design how they look, make everything to the website. And then we're getting AI to go and read the websites and summarize them for you. So we're getting AI to build websites for AI. It's just mind-boggling, and it doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, that is really funny.
Anyway,
so
that's the kind of web stuff and search. But then alongside that, we had more kind of AI models to do with generative AI and specifically image and video generation. And you may have seen this stuff cropping up on social media because there's been this crazy new video generation model called Veo. Veo3 specifically, and alongside that we have their image generation model, which is called Imagen or Imagen.
It's Imagen, I think they want the gen rather than image.
A play on Imagine though, because you're imagining the image. But anyway, the video one is crazy because this is the first time that we've got an AI video generation model that can actually generate the audio integrated within the video. So it
Oh, wow.
perfectly matches up.
Yeah, have you seen
Scary,
the
to be
one
honest.
where it's like, oh, we're just prompts? And
Yeah, there's all sorts of weird ones going on, isn't there?
so basically they made a AI generated video of humans in the video, kind of realizing that they were created by a prompt.
Yeah.
And now there's a big trend of actual humans doing the same thing,
just
and you
prompts.
just can't tell the difference. So
Yeah, it's really scary. We're now getting into full-blown deepfake territory, I think.
did they mention that at the conference?
They did, and they kind of touched on this stuff they were building in the background, which is called Synth ID, which we've mentioned previously a while ago when they first started it. And it's basically an AI watermarking feature so that you, without seeing it visually, but the computer can spot if something was AI generated. It's meant to work for text, images, audio, video. So the idea is that when you generate this stuff, it hides this watermark in there so that we can always know what's AI generated. So
Think of like Braille, like
Yeah.
if you kind of look at something with Braille on it from afar, you just won't see the Braille.
But yeah, we're definitely gonna have to come back to this because this is scary stuff. And you can now create basically whatever you want, audio, video, images, and it's kind of getting pretty perfect. And the whole thing with this development conference is that whereas these websites might used to work and operate individually on their own, and you'd have to very much go to it, you'd be in control. The whole idea now is that everything is just merged and integrated together. So you could create the images that would then go into your website, or a video that would go on the website to promote it. All of this just works together, and it can work inside of the website generation tool. It's mental.
That full integration. I mean, if generating video with audio wasn't enough, the computer telling you what it's imagining, we're now also seeing this complete integration of AI into your own glasses.
Yeah.
So now you're just showing the AI what you're seeing too. So I think maybe we remember the Google Glass that came out a while ago. I think everyone was saying they're a bit ahead of their time.
Yeah.
But now with
up.
Gemini Live and Project Astra, Google are really stepping up again, and I guess they're going for round 2 on this concept of having a bit like Jarvis, if you've seen Iron Man, where you have this little heads-up display. So within your own glasses, you can kind of see a little visual. And this means that when you're walking somewhere new and you have Google Maps open, no more like checking your phone every 5 minutes. You'll have a little arrow the whole way, and you'll never get lost again.
Yeah, and you don't have to go and snap a photo of something, upload it to ChatGPT or Gemini app and ask it, what is this? You can just, with the glasses, it's always processing in real time, and you can just speak out loud whenever you want, say, oh, what's this? Or like, how do I buy this?
Which is scary, right? Because, I mean, all the people that you interact with every day, you don't know what's going on with that data. They're recording
they're not
all of
consenting
it.
to that, are they?
So
yeah, there's lots to cover. We mentioned the main things. There are loads of other random bits that they mentioned as well. So there's kind of real-time translation within video calls, which is actually a kind of cool feature. That's one I'm not too scared about and actually quite excited for.
Hey, my mum's an interpreter.
Oh, no, there you go. Your mum's scared about it. Gosh. 3D immersive videos. You can go and try on clothes online. Actually, if you see any clothes, you can put it onto your body. Not just kind of like stitching up top. It's like generative AI.
Yeah.
It makes it look as if you're wearing the clothes.
And on top of that, on your online meetings now, you get these 3D reconstructions of you now. So you really feel like you're actually speaking to someone rather than just like a 2D version of them.
Yeah, metaverse is coming back.
It's coming.
But loads was mentioned. There was a lot of hype. It seemed quite scary, but should we boil it down to the reality? Like, is all of this here now and like in our homes ready to go?
Well, that's the thing. No. So with a lot of these AI conferences where they release all the new developments, they're trying to build hype. So a lot of these functionalities like Deep Think, the Astra agents, they're actually remaining in the labs, and they'll be released later this year.
Yeah, and they did a weird thing as well during the conference, which was that they just kept like mentioning the same products over and over again, but just in different ways or mentioning different aspects of them. So there was a journalist from The Verge who called the product overlap and the kind of branding and nomenclature absolutely diabolical. Like, it was just really weird. Like, they had multiple names for the same product. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess currently, but these things are probably going to be coming out over the next year or so. But there are loads of rumors now within experts who are basically saying that they've integrated these models, even though there are a couple of new models, it's the same thing, the same sort of LLM technology, but just integrated absolutely everywhere now, without really addressing a lot of the underlying issues which persist. So way back when, we started this podcast, we talked about hallucinations and bias. These are problems that still haven't been addressed. Like, these models still can hallucinate and tell you things that are not true. So it can still go, read your diary and write an email or do some stuff, all this amazing stuff, but in there it could just tell a complete lie along the way. So this is stuff that hasn't been resolved, even though we're giving these AIs all these tools and all this flexibility to do
Yeah.
stuff now, which is very scary.
I mean, I think that's exactly what we were most worried about, really, is that I think a lot of people talk about how smart AI is getting.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest, there's kind of like two directions of AI progress. It's how smart it's getting, but the second one is how integrated it is in the technology we use every day.
Yeah.
And that's one big reason why we're making this episode, is to really highlight all these crazy new integrations that Google are making. If we actually look at the smartness of the AI, it's really the same technology, but Google's version of it.
Yeah.
That's also working everywhere else. But
And-
Google are making huge steps in integration.
Yeah, basically, if you use any Google product, probably over the next year, it's going to have AI within there, like generative AI, quite strongly. So that's where we're going. We probably need to think about how comfortable we are using them now, not just for those problems we just mentioned, but for privacy concerns. If it's going and having this personalized aspect where it can go and read all your emails and draft a response in your tone, which is one thing they announced. So that means that it's read everything you've ever written.
Yeah.
It can respond to your contacts, kind of impersonating you. So we'll see. I mean, all these things, they advertise them as fantastic, amazing products, but I do wonder what the public perception will be and whether people will be as comfortable to start using this stuff. I know I probably won't for a while. Whether I'll then start to be left behind is the next question. So we'll see how things go.
So yeah, do get in touch with your thoughts. Contact at artificiallyeverafter.com.
Yep.
Maybe would you let an AI represent you and send a text for you? How do you feel about someone with these Project Astra glasses
AI
sitting
watching you all
opposite
the time,
you?
yeah.
How do you feel about that? So
So we'll definitely come back to this as these products start to come out and we get to test them ourselves. But yeah, in the meantime, stay tuned and we'll
catch you next time.